Hi again, this is John for JMC Garage, and I'm out here at my local Kia dealership. But what I wanted to do in this video of the JMC Garage is to compare two vehicles. One is the older version, the one is a newer version, the 2026 Kia Sportage. But hey, I like to pronounce it weird. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and compare these two. All right, so what we have here is let me zoom out a little. We have the 2026 Sportage X-Line. This is the 2025 Sportage X-Line. And it's a good comparison because they're both relatively the same price, both around 36 grand for either one. And let's go ahead and kind of compare the two right now. So this is the 2025. Even when Kia came out with the design a couple years ago for the 2025 Sportage, actually came out, I believe, was in 2022. It was a pretty radical design, pretty radical departure from the older Sportage that was here in the States. And as you could tell, it had this like boomerang type of LED daytime running light, LED headlights, turn signals, no fog lights on this model. But I don't think the Sportage ever had the option of, well, actually, no, they did. This one didn't have it. That one there has the option of fog lights, so you could get fog lights. But anyway, just comparing the front ends, and then we compare it over to the 2026 model. Now, 2026, you can see the grille is different. Besides the color difference, you see the headlights are more of a vertical versus kind of molded in, more vertical. These are curved, again, more of a stacked, and then you got this daytime running light that actually lines up orange, or actually shows up orange now on every new Kia. So versus daytime running lights on this were actually white LEDs, now they're going to an orange amber daytime running light LED on their new product. So this is the new front end. I think the grille looks more open. It is physically more open. This one doesn't have fog lights either, but you can see they stuck with LED high beams, low beams. I wouldn't be surprised if that could possibly be a fog light, but I know these are one of the low beams. That may be a high beam, or there could be a fog light down here. Who knows? Anyway, we can turn on the lights and kind of look at that. But let's go ahead and look at the sides. Now, being this is a mid-cycle refresh for 2026, the sides haven't changed much. You got different wheel designs. Now, these are running Kumo Kragans, and these are a 225. Sorry, it looks like a 235, right? Oh man, it's hard to tell. No, 225, which are 19s. And then you have the different wheel design here. All right. Pretty much the sides are just about the same. Let's look at the window sticker on the 2026 model. Again, this has a standard 2.5 liter gas direct injection and port injected 4-cylinder 8-speed automatic for 36,085, made in Georgia. The engine and transmission are both sourced right here in the US. And then if we look at the this year's model, again, made in Georgia, same engine, same transmission. Look at the gas mileage here, 23 city, 27 highway. Again, this is an X-Line all-wheel drive. I swear this one got better gas mileage. Yeah, it's an X-Line all-wheel drive. And this gets 24 city, 30 highway, 26 combined. So whatever Kia did with this refresh, they're actually able to get better gas mileage in the newer version versus the old version. Now let's take a look at the back. Again, part of a mid-cycle refresh. This is the old design. It's been around for several years. And now this is the new design. The taillights are a little bit different. I know on the older design, they had an incandescent bulb for the brake and for the turn signal. Of course, incandescent backup light. But on the new design now, you actually get LED brake, turn signal, running light. And you also get an LED backup light that's now mounted here versus right here. So you get an LED backup light. Pretty much other than that, the back end, I think the back end looks a lot better than it did before. Yeah, I do like the back end. Look at that, parking sensors on this one. This one does not have parking sensors. Kind of unique because they're both around the same price. All right, now let's check out the interior. I don't have the keys, or I don't have this one open. I have this one open here, but you can see kind of has Kia's older steering wheel. It kind of has a split screen. It looks like one connected screen, but it's kind of a split screen. But Kia totally redid the dash from this to the new one. So let's go ahead and hop into the new one. All right, so quite a bit different things here. Let's go ahead. I'm going to leave the door open if you don't mind, because it is warm and I really don't feel like starting this. So number one, the dash is totally different in this new one. Instead of those weird looking vents that they had, now the vents are, this kind of looks more in line with the rest of the Kia's lineup. You have this split screen here where it can go from either radio controls or climate controls, where you hit a touch sensitive on here on the panel. Not a big fan of that, but it's there. Seats are pretty much the same, and the door panels are a little bit different. They do have soft touch on this X-Line, which is nice. This up here is soft touch. This right here is soft touch. I'd love to know what it feels like in the base model, but it definitely feels more premium in here than it did before. And then let's talk about the biggest thing in front of us, and that's the new steering wheel. This is Kia's new 2-spoke squircle steering wheel design, where it's a flat bottom and pretty much a flat top. And they do this so you can see the screen better, and you have an unobstructed view outside the window, the front windshield here. Now, from vehicles that I've driven that have the squircle, which is the K4 and some of the other Kia vehicles, I don't find the squircle to be that much of a big deal. Some people may be put off by this steering wheel, but I don't think it's that much of a big deal. But let's kind of talk about this refresh here, because I've been in the older one quite a few times, and the older one's great, but I always found it a little bit cheap in the older one. The materials felt cheap, the interior felt kind of cheap, and I kind of want to compare it now to this new one. Again, this thing is the same price as the one next door, 36 grand. Of course, we get heated seats in here. We get the traditional 8-speed automatic. We got some nice buttons right here. One of the things I'm noticing about this refresh that Kia's done, not only is the outside different and the back end different, all that, but it feels a little bit more higher quality in here. Of course, this is running Kia's new infotainment system, their latest and greatest, which I absolutely love their latest infotainment system. It works very well. Not a big fan of the touch sensitive panel that can switch between audio or climate controls. I'm not a big fan about that. But let's go in and kind of compare and really kind of dive in, because I think the biggest thing about this refresh, besides the styling, is the way this interior feels. Interior that felt cheap and kind of mediocre in that Sportage now feels, I'm going to be honest with you, feels actually a little bit better quality. This particular one has a pano sunroof. It actually feels a little bit better here. Now, I'm not a big fan of all black interiors. As you can tell, it's all black, from the seats to the doors. I mean, you do got this faux wood right here, but this faux wood actually feels quite nice. And I think the interior, I love the cross stitching on the steering wheel. It actually feels better than the older interior. This faux wood down here around the shifter on the dash actually has a nice quality, nice looking feel to it. Even on the door here, oh my goodness, it feels amazing. The door panels feel good. Yeah, quality, feeling stitching on and padding on the armrest here, on this guy right here. It actually feels more of an upscale version of the one next door to me, the 2025 model. And I have to say, I'm pretty impressed about that, because, again, before, I wasn't a big fan of the 2025 model. I'm not going to lie to you. That model before, I was not a big fan, but I think what Kia's done and the updates they have done, especially with the new infotainment, the one connected screen, the new squircle steering wheel, I don't mind the steering wheel at all. I think it's a nice design. It's definitely a good steering wheel. I think Kia has really stepped up their game with this update, with this refresh, and yeah, I think it's a great buy. So let me kind of sum up. I'm going to go back out again. We kind of compared it to the two. And like I said, you know, looking at this design, of course, the seats, it's hard to tell, but the seats pretty much look the same. Again, we have the different steering wheel. Some people may like that round steering wheel more, but I'm just going to tell you right now, the new Sportage feels just a cut above. It just feels that much more nicer, better. If you can get your hands on a 2026 Sportage versus a 2025. Now, I'm sure that Kia is going to make amazing deals on the 2025s because they are now kind of an older model. They're going to be discounted. Comparing the two, my goodness, I think the 2026 just looks that much better. Not only does it look better, it looks more aggressive with the front end, but it feels better on the interior. You got the better technology. I think the back end looks better. You know, the wheels, I'm not a big fan of Kia's new style of squared off round wheels and design, but it's definitely different. But other than that, I believe Kia has really outdone themselves with this new Sportage, with this update, and definitely a nice looking vehicle. Now, about the X-Line. The X-Line is not something you're going to be taking off-road regular. It gets kind of off-road kind of bits and looks to it. I would think of the X-Line like a sport package. That's how I would look at the X-Line. Not an off-road package, but like a sport package is how I would look at the X-Line as. Now, I wouldn't necessarily call it, I wouldn't call it an off-road package, but more or less a sport package. And I think it works well with that. I love the blacked out elements on this red one here. I love the blacked out elements. And of course you have that on the older one as well, but it really is very much highlighted and looks very good on the new one, especially on the 2026. All right, you guys be blessed. If you have any questions, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I try and upload twice a week, every single Saturday, and of course try and upload a midweek one. I got another midweek coming. We're going to change out the lights on my son's Ford Fusion, so stay tuned for that. Appreciate you, or not Ford Fusion, Mercury Milan, same thing, but stay tuned for that. You guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and we'll catch you on the next one. This is John. Thank you.